Hello and welcome to another Bearded Geek Toy Review. In today's episode, we've got a Doctor Who related parcel from character Better Late Than Never. Stay tuned.
Answer! I don't know the answer. Please leave me alone.
Welcome back to the channel, and as you've probably guessed, this is a very delayed review of a character online exclusive. I actually reported on it a couple of months ago, and to be quite honest, I held off buying it because I was a bit put off by the price point of 40 quid for this free figure set. And I ummed and ahed out about it, and it's basically taken me this long. And I've watched a lot of review videos, and it does look cool, but the fact that you're paying 40 quid for a free figure set, because it's an online exclusive, when a free figure set at B&M would cost you $21.99, it's a bit of a raw do, and there's really not many new elements to it because, as we'll find out, it's a Dalek that we've had before, and there's basically a kit bash of two figures to make two brand new figures, or one brand new figure that they've put in the set twice. A lot of umming and ahhing, and then finally I got a little tax rebate from the tax man, and I thought, well, do you know what? Go on then, let's pull the trigger on it. And at the end of the day, if you think about it, 40 quid for free figures, it's still okay value, especially when you compare it to Hasbro, when they do one figure for 25 and they do a deluxe figure, which is one figure which comes with some extra elements, and they do that for like 35 to 40. So, yeah, perhaps I was just being a little bit cautious about the price point. Anyway, let's get the box open and have a closer look. So this figure set is from the 1979 story, which opened the 17th season of Doctor Who. The 6th season to star Tom Baker. So with this season, he officially overtook John Pertwee as the actor in the role for the longest time, because John Pertwee did 5 seasons. And it's Destiny of the Daleks, and I remember watching this as a wee nipper when it came out, and I absolutely loved this story because it was my first proper Dalek story. I was just too young for Genesis of the Daleks. I have some vague memories. Let's just get that out if we can. Vague memories of Genesis of the Daleks when I was young, but I think it was the Christmas repeat, which was edited down to 90 minutes, and I just remember snippets of that. I don't remember the story in full, but so this was the first one where I actually fully remember my first Dalek story. So actually very nice packaged, a box within a box. That's, most retailers probably wouldn't have done that, so that really does keep the package in good condition, because obviously you saw there that the side of the box was a bit dinted by Royal Mail, so it's good that character have done that. So let's get that open there, and then we can slide this guy out and have a closer look. Let's just put that cardboard down there. Hey, there we go. So finally, I've pulled the trigger on the Ruins of Skaro collector figure set, which is, as it states there, a character online exclusive. And what we have here is a reissued, well, they call it now a Dalek with bombs. I think when it was originally released in the fourth Doctor Adventure set, which was exclusive to Toys R Us and Forbidden Planet, I think they did refer it to as a suicide Dalek, but obviously times have moved on, and they're not referring it to that anymore. So it contains a Dalek with bombs, and obviously 2 Movellans warriors who were the android race who were in a long-standing war with the Daleks, and because both aliens relied on logic, they were kind of like in a impasse. They were in a stalemate, which meant that the Daleks were seeking out their creator, Davros, again, to unearth him from the ruins of Skaro. So there you go, there's the back of the packaging. Lovely use of the diamond logo, which obviously is the new stroke old logo. So a full breakdown of the story, if you want to pause it and have a read of that. Some nice photograph image there of the actual figures themselves, done by Paul Gibbs, who I believe is on Twitter, and he's also, I think, one of the mods on the Outpost Who forum, which I'm a member of. I think that's predominantly on Facebook now, though. I don't think they have the actual forum going anymore. Such is the way of forums. Forums are very early 2000s, aren't they? It does say something, obviously, there about what happened to the state of the Daleks. The props were not in the best of... well, what shall we say? They weren't in the best of nick, and they looked a bit shabby on screen. Obviously, they won't do that in this day and age. So, interestingly, character online exclusive. So it's still available as of the date of this video, which is the 5th of July, the day after Election Day. Hooray for a Labour government, but we keep politics out of the videos. Interestingly, the previous online exclusive they did, which was the Fugitive Doctor, the Joe Martin Doctor with TARDIS, that apparently sold out. I didn't get that because, again, 40 quid for a non-electronic TARDIS with a figure. Again, I was reluctant to pay that amount of money. And obviously, then sold out, and I thought, well, you know, I don't regret missing out. But lo and behold, it's turned up on Forbidden Planet. So obviously not sold out after all. Character telling a few porkies there. So I've got no doubt at all that if this stays in stock on Character Options website, they'll probably take it off and say it's sold out. And then, lo and behold, the stock will then turn up on Forbidden Planet. But hey, that's just me. Anyway, that's the box, that's the packaging. Let's open up and have a closer look at the figures. Before we get to the figures, though, let's just have a look at the inside packaging, which is a lovely kind of like photograph of the bridge section of the Movellans spacecraft. And obviously they have the big screen there that shows you Davros, creator of the Daleks and a humanoid mutant. And obviously that's an image from the actual show itself. And it's nice that they've brought these back because they had these on some of the B&M exclusive figures, and then I think as a cost-cutting thing they've kind of like gone with a more generic background. So with this being a character online exclusive, it's nice that they've brought that back because you can have that as a bit of a diorama should you choose to. Obviously you've got the exit there for the spaceship. You got various computer panels and monitors on there. So yeah, that's a nice little touch there. And they've even got muddy footprints because obviously Skaro was quite muddy, sandy and rocky. Obviously filmed in a various combination of locations. And it's just a nice touch that they've put the muddy footprints on there. So here's the figures in their plastic inner packaging. So as you can see, you've got the Dalek there, and he's a slightly different colour. We'll do a better comparison when we get him out of the initial version. And then you've got the 2 Movellans with their weapons there. So let's cut all these paper-like kind of cable ties that we've got here and get the figures out.
When you reach the Movellans space vehicle, position yourselves around the ship as close as possible to the hull.
So let's have a look at the Dalek first of all and compare him to the original release that was way back in 2010. Like I said, this came out in the 4th Doctor Adventure set, which was exclusive to Toys R Us and Forbidden Planet, and came with the Season 12 4th Doctor, as played by Tom Baker, this Suicide Dalek, a Vok robot, and a Egyptian robotic mummy from Periods of Mars, which obviously we've just had a sequel to that story in Ncuti Gatwa's first season. The final two-parter was a sequel to Pyramids of Mars called The Legacy of a Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death. And the first part was brilliant. The second part really didn't live up to the potential of the story, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, you'll see there's a difference in colour. So this one is a lighter shade of grey compared to that one. Obviously this is, they say this is more screen accurate, but to be quite honest, a lot of the Daleks in that story are various kind of different shades of grey. 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Dalek. So yeah, so it's a bit of here and there. They're not quite a distinctive colour when compared to the Genesis style. Obviously, the placement of the bombs is different. Now, is there the same amount of bombs on this one as what there is on that one? Just bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 13 bombs on there. Or is it 14? Did I go from that one? 14 bombs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13 bombs on that one. Obviously it looks like there's one kind of like missing there, and obviously they're placed differently, so it gives you that variance. And then you've got a bit of a paint job, the scuffing of the skirt on the Dalek. Also you've got, I think, a more accurate style eyepiece. I don't think there's much difference to the actual sucker and the gun, but then you've got the black oval in the middle there compared to it being plain grey on that one. So yeah, it's nice to have a variant, because there was a couple of suicide Daleks with bombs in the story as they marched towards the Movellan ship to try and blow the Movellans and the Doctor up. So there you go. That's the comparison there of the two Daleks. Yeah, a Dalek's a Dalek, and you can never have too many Daleks. So it'd be nice to have those two like next to each other, side by side. So obviously we'll put him further back there. We'll put him there, and we'll have a look at the Movellans now.
Daleks!
What? Stay calm. Quick, take cover!
So these are the two Movellan androids, both female, because they were obviously a race of both male and female, or perhaps they're just androgynous androids. Who knows? Now this one looks to be based on the model and actress Suzanne Danielle, who appeared in the story. Amongst great publicity, they really did push out the boat for her appearing in the show. But obviously this is based on one of the other actors who also played one of the Movellans in the background. So whether or not we get a Commander Straker, who was the obviously the person in charge of the Movellans, don't know. But let's just concentrate on one of the figures. Lovely attention to detail, although I have noticed mine does have a little bit of paint splash there, which is unfortunate, looks to be from the kind of like the energy packs that they've got on the side of their top arms. You've got the energy pack there that powers them. That is not detachable. And obviously you've got this kind of like a bit of a translucent kind of like white. It does have quite a shine to it, especially on the legs and the hips there, which obviously is probably accurate to the costume. And then you've got some what can only be described as a bit of mud detail or sandy detail to the boots, which is really cool. Now let's just have a look at the one based on Suzanne Danielle's character, whose name escapes me at the moment. I really don't kind of like remember it. But there you go, exactly the same figure, obviously just a different kind of face sculpt there. And again, character are now using this new technique where basically they use the plastic. The plastic for the face is molded in the skin color. It's not painted anymore like it used to be. So if you look at obviously this one from a couple of years back, this is the Katie Hopkins Romana. I joke, it's Lala Ward obviously, but I did see a couple of people describe her as looking like a bit like Katie Hopkins. Heaven forbid, she's a vile woman. We wouldn't want an action figure of her. But you can see that obviously what they've done is they've painted the plastic, and then they've painted the face on there. So what they're doing now, because it looks more natural, is moulding the faces and like the hands in the actual skin colour, and then painting the face details on there. So it looks like it's working. The first figure that they did that with was our Sixth Doctor figure that came with the TARDIS, which was a B&M exclusive. We reviewed I think late last year. That looked a little bit weird just because we're used to seeing him with a painted face, but there you go. Now the extras, they come with one extra, which is their weapons, and obviously I love the translucent kind of like plastic they've got going on for them, and obviously they've got a little thing in there that means that they can hold it. So we'll just put that on there. We'll just move that. Now, unfortunately, because of the way the design of the sleeves is, there's not a lot of movement because of this piping for the arm, which means that you don't really kind of like get much of a movement on there. Let's just see if we can get that in there. There you go. So obviously the guns are a little bit larger than what they were when portrayed on the show, but it doesn't look too bad. I still think that's a really, really good kind of like, I think we'll just stand that one up there like that. Let's just see if this one goes a little bit better with holding it in the left hand. Obviously you're going to have to like move your hands around to see if they can, because effectively you're trying to like blind by putting it in there. Well, yeah, you could have them holding it in the left hand as well, so that works, which is kind of cool. Now I noticed there is a little nodule on the belt there, and you've got these kind of like little slats here, which does mean, I think, if you want to, you can have the gun or the weapon hanging attached to the belt, which is how it appeared in the show as well, which is another nice little touch that character have done there. Really do like that. Obviously, like I said, the weapon is a bit oversized compared to how it was on the screen, but these are the allowances you make for an action figure. Now, another reason why I was kind of like reluctant to push the button on this figure set is because this was marketed as obviously a reissue of a much wanted Dalek from years ago, and 2 brand new figures, and actually character telling a few porkies there. This isn't a brand new figure. This actually does use the body of the Clara Oswald figure. So the legs and the body underneath with the arms is based on Clara Oswald, and then obviously what you've got this piping like over kind of like rubber rest of the costume that's been put over that. So the amount of tooling that they've used to create the new figure, the new Movellen figure, isn't as much as what it would be for a brand new figure sculpt from scratch. So yeah, so character telling a few little porkies there. So again, that was another reluctance of why I initially thought, I don't want to really pull the trigger here on this figure set. But like I said, I have relented eventually. So, you know, rather than wait for it to come down in price, which I'm not sure whether it will do, I have obviously bought it now. So there you go. But they're still great figures, and the Movellans were a great design, designed by June Hudson, who's a very eccentric woman, who's responsible for a lot of like crazy designs from late 70s Doctor Who, and also Blake 7, which she obviously designed a lot of the outlandish costumes for as well on that show. So interestingly, obviously we had this Romana, which is in her Destiny of the Daleks apparel, which is like kind of like a spoof on the 4th Doctor costume. Now this, the kind of like underneath this is based on a Sarah Jane figure, which they've just like retouched, painted, and then just put a brand new head sculpt on there. But this was the very first figure pack that I reviewed for the channel way back 4 years ago. So if you want to see how bad my videos were originally, I probably haven't improved much. So check that out. That's the very first video that we did. And then we've got this Tom here. Now this is a City of Death Tom, because obviously he doesn't have the boots on. He's got the shoes on. But they did do a Destiny of the Daleks 4 figure set exclusive to Forbidden Planet. And they stupidly had him with a scarf that went round his neck, very much in the style. It was the scarf from season 12, which a lot of fans at the time moaned about and said that's not right. And obviously he was wearing the boots as well. And they never kind of like reissued it or rechanged it. But then they did this kind of like City of Death version. Now this came with a serious head Tom. And we never had a smiling Tom Baker figure without the hat. So what I did, very similar to the Sylvester McCoy custom, I kit bashed. I took a smiling hatted Tom and cut the hat off. And then I took a serious headed Tom with just the hair and then cut the hair off. And then I glued that on top there. So this is kind of like, this is my season 17, not taking everything quite so seriously, 4th Doctor, which I'm really surprised they haven't done one, but needs must. And I thought it was much more appropriate to have a smiling Tom from that era, because he acts quite the buffoon and really kind of like laps up the Douglas Adams dialogue in that season, because Douglas Adams, creator of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, was the script editor at the time. So there you go. There's just a little bit of background on the figures that you can see there. That's the Ruins of Skaro set. Like I said, I do think it's overpriced. However, if you have a fear of FOMO, or if you are a great fan of the Tom Baker era, or if you just never got round to getting that Dalek when it was first released. And I know it's still, up until the release of this, it still went for a lot of money on eBay. So what you would pay for that, for this version on eBay, is probably what you would pay. You'd actually pay less, probably, for this, and you're going to get 2 Movellans as well. So, yeah. So when you think of it that way, and you're a collector, and you've got a few gaps in your collection, yeah, it's a great deal. It's a great deal. And they look really, really cool. Like I said, the Movellans were always kind of like that cool late 70s disco sci-fi aesthetic. And they had a little cameo in Peter Capaldi's 3rd series, in his very first episode of that series, the pilot, where we briefly saw the Movellans and the Daleks fighting. So they have appeared in the new series as well. So there you go. Let me hear your thoughts. Do you think that this was value for money, or do you think character were kind of like taking the piss a little bit? And what do you think of the next sets that they have announced, which I will go into detail here. Images of 2 sets due to be released in late July, early August have leaked. One is a Resurrection of the Daleks set, and the other is the Imperial Davros from A Remembrance of the Daleks. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, then please leave us a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you've not yet hit that subscribe button or that notification bell to be notified whenever we upload any brand new videos, then please do so, as it really does help us out. And thank you once again to everybody who subscribes to the channel and supports us. It really is appreciated. Lots of cool new videos to come, but in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you very, very soon on Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. Bye now. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay tuned. I've forgotten what I was saying now. Which was called Legacy of Ruby Sunday. Ruby Tuesday, that's a bloody Rolling Stones film. Song. Let's start that again, shall we? See? That was better.
If you're supposed to be the superior race of the universe, why don't you try climbing after us? Bye-bye!